Hey guys, Jonah here, and this week we're looking at the Klein Modbox. This system I brought all the way from the United States. I shipped this all back when I was there a few months ago on the big tool hunt. Go and watch this video if you want to catch up. And I shipped back 15 big boxes, including the Klein Modbox system. I had to import the drawer box. This one's a bit of a rare box. You don't see many toolbox systems with a single deep drawer like this. In this video, I'm going to be going through my top 5 features and positives, and there's some great stuff with this box. I really like it. But there's a few negatives that we need to go through as well. A few things for improvement, I reckon. We've also got a great selection of the Modbox accessories that all attach to this box. We're going to go through those too. And we've got a load of Klein tools. While I was in the States, I picked up some tools. I got some from CEF in the UK, the electrical wholesaler. They stock Klein tools. I got a big box of interesting, cool, innovative Klein tools, and I'm going to be going through my top 5 of those too. So if you're a Klein fan or you're interested in quirky tools and a quirky toolbox, this is the dream video for you. So let's get into it, starting with the toolbox and my top 5 features, starting with number 5. So the first couple of features I want to show you are some novel quirky things I've not really seen before on another system, and they're all in the triple stack. This is like the standard triple offering that you'd get, the main retail offering of Klein. And the first feature is on the top of each of the boxes, they've got a tape measure built in. Now this is standard, or well, it's imperial, or standard as the Americans call it. So it's not as useful to us Brits, but it's a nice little addition, and they've got that on the top of all of the boxes. They say it's for conduit, so I've got a piece here and you can see it holds it nice and square, and it would be easier to mark things up, or a bit of trunking and stuff. So I like that as a feature. And on the back, another great thing that they've added is like long level storage. So a few of these systems, Tough Built, Flex, they have accessories you can buy and then kind of put a long level on the side. Klein have built it in. So here you go, I've got a long level here, and you can see it slots down through that little gap there, and then there's a little tray in the bottom, and then they've offset the handle. So no matter what height you have the handle at, and no matter how long your level is, it's not in the way. They've also got some narrower slots here, and we've got like a set of rods here for threading cables through, and they can go in there. So I think not having to buy an accessory to hold those, because you know they're not going to fit inside the toolbox, I think is a great little feature. And it doesn't stop there. There's another little quirky thing I noticed, and this feature, it wasn't on the promotional material, so I had to do a bit of research to figure out what it was, and that is top box. You've just got a standard lid, and it's all pretty hefty stuff. In the middle box though, you've got this steel plate, and I did wonder what that's for, because it's obviously a weird shape, but Klein have got a light that slots onto that, and then when you open the box, I think it works like a mini fridge. You open the box and the light comes on, and it makes it a bit easier to see what you're doing inside that mid box. Now I don't have that specific light, but it is just a galvanized plate, so I've got my uni light here. I picked this up at the installer show. I really like it. It's magnetized on the back, and it just clicks on, so great little addition. It's a good idea for the mid box, so you know, it's definitely a good idea for the base box, but as you can see, it doesn't have one. So a few great features there, quirky features, and they're all in like this base main retail offering, which I like. So that's number 5. Let me show you number 4. So next up is the removable handle. Now, not a lot of the systems have got a removable handle, but a couple have. Tough Built have. The Klein one though is, I would say, the best one I've ever seen, because not only is it really easy to use, you just pull these out and you can see it says unlocking on the top. The handle comes out really nice and easily. And the main thing is it goes back in easily. It's a little bit faffy with some of them for the handle to slot back in, but that is the absolute easiest one out of all the ones I've looked at. While around the back, it's also got the biggest wheels. Now, it said that on the promotional material, it said the biggest wheels on the market. Well, we've got every toolbox here, and I've checked it. I thought Flex had pretty big wheels, but they're 9-inch wheels, and this one has got 10-inch full rubber wheels. So if you're looking for a toolbox to go off-roading with, I think this is probably your best bet. That's number 4. Let me show you number 3. So number 3 is just how heavy duty this system is. Now it's made out of impact resistant polymer, they say, and you can tell it's a heavy duty material and it's a heavy duty mold. The walls are really sturdy and thick, and you've got extra support. It's like a double wall on the corners, and even the accessory rail is molded in. So it's not like a steel rail that's been riveted on there. It's molded in place, which is pretty clever because obviously you're adding an extra layer of impact material right on the side, but it's still flush with the corners, so you've not got any sort of protrusion, which I quite like. All the boxes have got a seal, so they're all IP65 rated, except for the drawer. I couldn't see a seal on that, and I had a look at the little literature that came with it. The drawers don't seal, but all of the boxes, including the organisers, have all got a plastic seal, so they're fully dustproof and waterproof, which is pretty cool. And all of the locking points are reinforced, which is another little addition. All of these boxes have that reinforcement around the lock, so you can put a really sturdy lock on there, but then you can literally wiggle it off by just bending the plastic. So heavy duty thing. Wheels are heavy duty, as we've already said. Handles are really stout and heavy duty, as are the front latches and handles. Everything feels really heavy duty, and a nice wide handle on it. So there's nothing flimsy about these boxes. And when it's going on a site, that's one of the most important things. Is it going to last you a lifetime? And I think this one will do. So that's number 3. Let me show you number 2. So number 2 on the list is probably what I'd say is the most obvious feature. When you look at the Klein Modbox, the most obvious thing is it's bright orange. Now, love it or hate it, it's pretty much out there on its own as one of the only bright coloured toolboxes. If you've got this thing on site, you're going to be able to see it a mile off. Now, personally, I really like orange. Lots of details, the nice dark grey matches it really nicely, and it's all nice and solid, so if it was orange and flimsy, I might not like it, but the fact that it's such a professional setup, it's so solid, and there's a lot of thought gone into it, I feel like it justifies it being a nice bright colour. So I like the orange. Let me know, what do you think of the colourway? Would you go for a bright orange toolbox? We don't really have any other bright colours over here in the UK. All of our toolboxes are pretty much black with like a colour accent. It's only the US that get the bright red Milwaukee pack-out boxes. We don't get any bright colour boxes, so I think the orange is a bit of a winner for me. Let me know what you think. That's number 2. Let me show you my top feature. And number 1 on the list, the top feature for me, is the drawer units and the range that the Modbox offers. They're a bit of a new kid on the block, Klein Modbox. Not many systems have such a deep drawer like this, a single deep drawer. Now, as you can see in the bottom of this one, you've got like a stepped section, but our inserts that we make for all the Klein Modboxes, you can get them now on the website. I'll put a link in the description if you want some Klein Modbox inserts. We've got 2 50mm sections that slip down the side and that levels it off, and then the other inserts that come in the pack just sit nice and snug over the top. So, great little system. I mean, obviously they had to put that step in there because it's kind of a recess made for the latching mechanism, so there was no other way around it, but they've done it in a nice manner that you can still fill it with foam, so pretty good all round. Now, I didn't buy all the other drawer boxes because they're very similar, but a single deep drawer is a bit of a one-off. There's not many that are doing it. There's a couple that have got them coming. I don't know if they're quite out yet with Tough Built, for example, but this one is great. And the locking mechanism, look at this. It's a nice solid metal bar and it clicks into place like a really positive click, and you know it's locked. You put a lock through that, no one's getting in. And to unlock it, that little tab is actually a button. You press that in and then the little bar stows away again. The locking mechanism, they call it a one-handed operation, which it is, and it's definitely easy to unlatch boxes. I do find it a little bit tricky though to relatch them, but it can be done. I don't know quite one-handed is the word, but I think when it comes to shadow foam ability, you've got to have a good drawer option. So having the 2 drawer, the 3 drawer, and then the single deep drawer has got to be my top feature. So that's all my top positives about the Klein Modbox. Couple of negatives.
Oh, please don't take a turn to negative town.
The connecting mechanism, as I've already said, is not the best. It can be a little bit faffy to get them reconnected, and disconnected's easy. Reconnected, they're a little bit of like jigging around to get them connected. Not quite as easy as the Tough Builts, but it does work, and you can have 2 half boxes with a full box on top, which is great. Another negative is following on from basically a positive, which turns into a negative, and that is, I spoke about these attachment rails and the fact they're nice and flush and they're molded, but by having them like that, there's no side handles on any of the boxes. So if you were to try and disconnect and carry these boxes, you're holding on to what is essentially a really thin slip of plastic, and it kind of cuts into your hands. It's not comfortable at all. And if that was a heavy box, these are empty at the minute, and still a bit of weight to them, they don't function as side handles at all. But what I noticed is that this overhang here is actually a handle. They've molded it in a way that it kind of tucks under and you can get your fingers underneath, and that is essentially a handle. So, I mean, a lot of these boxes do have separate fold-up side handles, but are they necessary? I don't really think so, to be honest. A big negative, though, is the availability. Sadly, we don't have this in the UK. If you wanted one, you'd have to get it imported from America, and there's going to be a huge cost attached to that. So, although I really like it, and I would love to see it in the UK, right now, that is probably the biggest negative, the price. Getting it here. So there were my bugbears, not too many. I really do like this system, and I think for an electrician, it's got a lot of different kind of features that are geared towards electricians, so I do love that. So that's all the Modbox system. Let me show you the Modbox accessories I picked up.
It comes with a set of interchangeable accessories.
Right, so onto the Modbox accessories. Now, I've got a good selection of them. I've got 6 different accessories, plus the shadow foam inserts, which are the number 1 accessory. Some of these are pretty cool, and they're all nice and simple, so we'll get into it. First, we've got the parts bin, rail attachment. Now, all of these, bar one, literally just slot on the side, and they've got like a little friction clip. And once it's on there, it's not coming off unless you reach underneath and pull the handle and take it off. Next up, we've got the magnet. Pretty handy thing, I think, for screws. Not sure if I'd hang tools off it, but I think it would take the weight of a tool. Again, we've got the hooks on the top, clip on the bottom. Once it's on there, let's see, will it hold a fairly hefty 10-inch adjustable? Yeah, that's on there pretty good. With a lot of contact, that is really solid on there. Pretty cool. Next up, we've got the tool carrier rail attachment. Now, I thought this was a plunge saw rail holder, but it's not. It's just a literally little bin, to be fair. And then that's just for putting like tape measures on the side. That kind of thing. Handy little accessory. Most important one, they've got a drinks holder. Now, the thing with the pack-out version and the Tough Built is that the drink locks in. Now, I can tell that this one doesn't like twist lock. Now, I don't know if Klein have a tumbler. So this one's in 2 parts. We've got the bracket, and then we've got the little drinks caddy. So then that has to just twist into place like that, and then it can't come out. Will it hold a normal can? Hell held in there pretty well. It's definitely not my favourite drinks holder out of any other ones that I've seen. And then finally, as accessories go that clip on the side, we've got the cable wrap. Pretty important on this. I think you've definitely got to have a cable wrap. Now, it would make sense for those to twist over to the left and right, wouldn't it? But actually, they only clip like that. You can literally only have them like that. So for the cable, you're not really wrapping it tight. You're just kind of like looping it over. Well, let's have a look. I've got a few meters extension here. Not the best, to be honest. So I think you get the idea of the accessories. I would say they're not the best accessories, to be honest. The attachment system is pretty secure. They have a nice firm clip. You know that's clipped on there, but I think having an actual steel rail and having the clip tech system of the Tough system or the pack out system, the accessories seem to be a bit firmer, a bit higher quality. Even the cable wrap, I mean, it's not ideal, that is it? You need these to be 90 degrees left and right, and then you'd be able to actually wrap it and it would stay wrapped. Not ideal, but we've got one accessory left. This is the internal rail accessory. This thing slots inside the rolling box and essentially just becomes one of these side rails. So these accessories can clip inside the base box, which is pretty cool, isn't it? I'm sure you could come up with a few uses for that. So this is the base box, and then that should just click in the back. It goes quite low down, to be fair. It's not far off the bottom, that. Then I'll click one of the accessories. So that's the rail attachment and the magnet. Not bad. A few of the systems have got something like this. I would never personally use it. I'd be putting foam in there and getting things organised. It feels like it's a big box, this one. It's awkward to get to. The bottom rolling box is always the tricky one to get to. So, I mean, obviously you wouldn't have a magnet on there, but what else are you clipping on that? Because you're not really going to clip the cable wrap. You're not going to have your drinks holder. Even if it was the little parts bin, you're not really going to clip it in your base box because you could fit like 20 of them if they were just stacked. So, does anyone use this rolling cabinet rail? Because for me, it's a little bit of a strange old one. And obviously you can pull it out with the attachments on, but what else does it attach to? It doesn't attach to anything else. It would just have to live there. So, bit of a weird one, but the ultimate accessory has got to be the shadow foam inserts. We've got these available now for every single mod box on the website. We'll put a link in the description below, and as always, they're available in 30mm and 50mm depths in all 9 colours. So go to the website if you want to pick up some shadow foam inserts. I've got them in orange, and these are one of the best fitting inserts I think we've ever made. These Klein Modboxes have a really flat bottom. They've got some little triangles that are cut in to kind of organise the totes that come with them, but we've accommodated for that. Our inserts slot directly in here, and they are a very satisfying fit. Look at this. And literally, these little protrusions are 50mm, so they come perfectly flush up to the top. So that one fits perfectly. We've got inserts for the slim organiser, and again, fits in there perfectly. Now, these come in twin packs, and this is probably the most standard. This is called the toolbox. This is like the most common mod box you'd find, and this insert slots in there perfectly as well. That is a really nice fit. And again, 50mm just comes up lovely to the top of that plastic there. So, nice, easy way to get all your tools organised. As I say, they come in twin packs. So if you bought an insert for this, you'd get 2. And 2 50mm brings it nice and flush to the surface. So you could have either some really deep power tools in there, or you could put a handle on it and have a lift out layer. And I think that's what we'll do, because next up is Klein tools, and I found some absolutely belting, innovative Klein tools. I didn't realise how many clever tools they had. So I've got a whole box of Klein stuff we're going to go through, and then I'll show you how the shadow foam works.
Does everybody know what time it is?
So we can't talk Klein without talking Klein tools, because that's where it all started for Klein. Good quality American tools, not all of them American made, but American designed. I've been picking out some of my favourites, anything I've seen that's Klein that really caught my eye, I've been buying. I also got some from CEF, so that's City Electrical Factor. It's an electrical wholesaler in the UK, and it's my local electrical wholesaler. I'm always down there, and as I've seen a few bits, I've picked them up. One of the first things I got from CEF was this set of screwdrivers and this set of snips, because they had a bit of a collaboration with Macmillan Cancer Support, and £5 of the purchase of this goes to Macmillan's. And I picked these up because I thought I can't just buy the quirky tools. I wanted to buy some of their standard tools, and the Klein screwdrivers are a regular. A lot of electricians use these, and I thought may as well buy the set that are supporting Macmillan Cancer Support. And basically, they're a common screwdriver on site. This is your standard kind of posi drive head, and you've got it squared off on the end so you get a really nice grip. And I do see them a lot. I've never owned a set of Klein electrical VD screwdrivers, but I do see them a lot. And then I also picked up a pair of their snips. Now, these are made in the USA. The screwdrivers aren't. It doesn't say that on the box, but these are. These are actually like a different colourway as well. They've not just kind of put them in a green pouch like they've done with the screwdrivers. You've actually got an orange and green handle, which is pretty cool, saying made in the USA on there. I'll have to give these a go. Oh, and they've actually got Macmillan on the back too. Pretty cool, isn't it? So I think I'll give these a road test. Next time I'm doing some electrical work, I'll give these snips a go. They seem really nice and they line up perfectly. I mean, Germany are famous for their snips and pliers. Never used a USA pair, so that'd be good to use. So I thought I'd pick those up as a bit of a starter, but let's get into the quirky stuff. And next up is a 7.5 metre tape measure. Again, this came from CEF. It's 7.5 metres long, which is basically 25 feet. So it's an American style tape being 25 feet. Usually it's 8 meters in the UK. But look what it says, 4 meter standout. And that is bonkers, 4 meter standout. Usually what, you get 1.5 meters on a tape measure and it'll snap. But you look at this thing. I've already tested this. That's why I've got the confidence. I'm already at 3 meters and it's, I'll have to keep going back. You can feel it's like a sturdy tape and it's got like a little bit of reinforcement on the back. You can feel like a raised ridge. This is the true test. The tape measure can only qualify as a great tape measure if it's got, well, we're going to say 4 meter standout. That must be the goal. I'm at 3.8, 3.9, 4 meters. Oh, it just hit something. Let me just, I don't have a big enough space. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I want to see if I can go further than 4 meters, because that's even better then, isn't it? We can write to them. I'm going to go this direction now. I'm going to really throw the camera off. I'm going over the top of the camera. 3.6, 3.7, 3.8. Bedlam this. 3.9. There's some weight in the tape measure. 4 meters. Think when it's shaking. 4 meters. Just over 4 meters. Well, they've got that nailed, haven't they? Oh, that's crazy. And it's a good tape too. You can feel it's a nice, thick, heavy-duty tape with writing and markings on both sides. And you've got vertical markings. So I think this is one of my favourite tapes that I've seen. I like. It's got a really nice feel, really stout and big and chunky. I like it. Tough Blade, it's called. It's got like a top and tail double hook on it as well, which makes it easy to hook on stuff. So I like that. So that's some standard equipment from them, really. Screwdrivers, snips, and a tape measure. Let's have a look what else we've got. Another standard bit of kit is a knife, isn't it? So it's got good weight to it. It's always funny when they have that, it just feels a little bit unnecessary. It's a retractable knife, but then it folds into itself. So when you fold it, it's kind of hiding the knife anyway. So why does it need to be retractable? I'm not really sure why they ever do that, because one of the beauties of a folding knife is the blade is fixed and you know, you feel like it's stronger because it's not retracting, it's not moving around, and then it folds out and it becomes basically a locking knife. So not really sure why you'd want retractable and folding, but it feels nice. Let me know. Would you like a retractable folding knife? Do you see the benefit in having retractable folding knife rather than just folding? If you compare it to like a Milwaukee, it's just a folding knife. It's smaller, it's a bit easier in the hand, and it doesn't need to retract because you can stow the blade away inside the handle. This is really chunky, and I can't see that it's got any extra blade storage. So I do think they've got some other knives, but this is the only one they had in CEF. So next time in the States, I think I'll have a closer look at, like, oh, it has got blade storage actually. Oh right, you have to have the blade out to open the storage, and it's got 2 spare blades underneath. I suppose once you've got the knack of it, you've got the knack of it, haven't you? To open storage, slide blade forward and remove. They must know that that's a common complaint, so they've actually written on the side of the blade, but pretty cool. It's nice and chunky, and it's obviously orange, matching their colourway. Bit of faffy, that one. Not my favourite, but I bet they've got some other knives that are pretty cool, so we won't mark them down too badly on this. Here's another quirky tool. Now, I picked this one up in America, and we've all seen telescopic tools, you know, magnets on a stick that kind of like pick up things with it. Well, this is that and more. So you've got the classic kind of magnet tool for picking things up. Pretty strong as well, to be fair. But this one's got like a flexible end on it and got a torch built in. So if you're looking down like a little nook and cranny trying to find stuff, that torch is shining directly on the end of that, and it helps you to see, which never seen anything like that before. And if you're trying to find a little socket screw that you've dropped between some floorboards, that is pretty handy. That is pretty cool. So I picked that up. I thought that is a tool that I could genuinely use, by Klein. Nice, good feeling to it as well. Nice and solid. Next into the box, these are nifty. I quite like these. Now, when you think of screws and, you know, good set of screwdrivers, you'll have a magnetic end on it and it holds the screw. Or you can magnetize the end. But that doesn't help you when you're using like a stainless steel screw, because, you know, stainless steel, it isn't magnetic, and just some screws in general, they don't magnetize very well. Well, these 2 screwdrivers, one's Phillips and one's flathead, these have got like a spring-loaded plastic kind of sheath. You push it forward and it'll grip the screw. So it doesn't matter if it's magnetic or not. You can lock the screw in place. These were from CEF actually. They look American, don't they? Even the packaging looks a little bit more American than the rest, or certainly an older school design. But they were here in the UK, in CEF, and I thought we'll give them a go. So let me grab a screw.
A few screws is all.
So there we go, I've got a screw, and basically we just slide that forward, put it in there, and yeah, that is great. That is gripping that really, really tight. So for getting a really tricky spot or getting a screw started, that is amazing. And obviously with a flathead, if for some reason you're having to use flathead screws, let's say traditionally like a socket front, they have flathead screws, which this would be perfect for, you can kind of get into an awkward spot or get down the back of something when you're trying to get the screw in. It'd be great having those in like a stubby version, you know, because then you can get into awkward spots with it, but I think that is a bit of a winner. Here's another one, folding jab saw. I just pick up anything that I think there's a chance that could go in my compact toolkit, my ultimate compact toolkit. So a folding jab saw is definitely something I wanted to have a peek at. Just says blade lock securely at 125 and 180, folding jab saw. Doesn't have any other features listed. And there we go, that's pretty cool. Does lock in really positively, to be fair. Got a nice feeling to it as well, quite stout. It locks in really nice, I can say that for it. So you fold it out and literally it clicks in there and it's solid. I've not seen a folding jab saw that locks in at that position. That could be easier for back boxes and stuff. I like it. Right, on to the next. I've got a couple of their little multi-attachment screwdrivers. This is their 4-in-1 pocket electronic screwdriver. Oh, that's cool. Thought it was 4 bits in the handle, but it's 1 bit with 2 sides on it. It's really, really nice narrow shaft on that. Easy carry, concealable tip. Ah, I was looking up here thinking the other screwdriver bit is in the handle, but it's not. That's literally just a locked in little turning bearing on the end. And then where's the other screwdriver bit? Well, you've got 2 there, and then you pull this whole head forwards, and then the whole kind of shaft comes out, and then you can rotate it around. Oh no, you don't rotate it round. You can just flip the bits over. I've seen these before where the whole kind of head rotates around. Well, actually this one doesn't. You just switch the bits and then put it back in. So that's pretty nifty. I like that. And then this is their 15-in-1 ratcheting screwdriver. Now I love looking at these different ratcheting screwdrivers. We've got a few fantastic German ones, so it was worth getting the Klein one to have a look at. Doesn't seem particularly special. It's not got like a flow drive or anything, but it's nice and solid. And I do quite like this clear acetate handle with the plastic. And then the head comes up. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't really compete with the likes of my favourite one. This is my Imbus. And with this one, you've got this lovely little mechanism and it's got a flow drive. So that's my favourite. Similar in size. I do prefer having just like a smooth kind of blade rather than like this little extra bit on the end. But then this one is hex as well, isn't it? So, you know, horses for courses. I prefer that one, to be fair. But that one does feel nice and heavy. And there we go. So we've got the screwdrivers looked at. And last but no means least is something that I had to buy off Amazon. I saw someone else with this and I thought I have to get one. So this is probably my favourite pick. I already know where this is going. And that is the 6-in-1 impact flip socket. Now, I do see these a lot more in the States. There's a few brands that have brought out these little kind of socket stacks. And in terms of a compact kit and having all the sizes you need, well, this is metric. It's 14mm, 30mm, 12, 10, 8 and 7. And they're 1/4-inch sockets. Well, they're not really 1/4-inch, you wouldn't call them, but they're on a 1/4-inch bit driver. And essentially, you can move whichever size you need to the front. So let's go for 13. And then that'll go straight in a drill, and you can use that as a little nut spinner. And then all of these can go on the back. And then you can flip it all around. So it's just like it's just a really convenient nut spinner, really. And like I say, you've got 6 sizes. It's really nice and small and compact, and it all tucks away nicely. So I'm quite happy with that. Well, as soon as I saw it, I thought that is something I want in my compact kit. But obviously I had to get this one imported from the US. Now they did out on Amazon, I think it was about 30 quid, which is quite a lot really, isn't it, for something like this. But if it did come to the UK, I can imagine it being a heck of a lot less than that. So I reckon 6 nut spinners on a 1/4-inch driver, and that's the amount of space it takes up in your kit. I think that is a banger, so I know exactly where that's going. So that's all my Klein tools. Here's me insert. I'll chuck a little layout together. It takes me all of about 3 minutes now to do a nice layout. I've done so many layouts over the years. I do really like these acetate handles. They can go opposite each other. Something like that'll do me. And now I'll show you how to cut.
But how will I know when to stop cutting?
Right, so when it comes to cutting shadow foam, it couldn't be easier. All you need is one of our cutting kits. Now these come free with most orders at shadowfoam.com. We'll put links in the description for all of this. And this kit has got an anti-cut glove in it. Well, it actually has a pair of anti-cut gloves, but I always wear the one. It's got a scalpel, it's got blades, and it's got some instructions and sticker. It's got everything you need, and it's everything I need to start cutting. And all you do is, once you're happy with your layout, so this is the Modbox toolbox insert. I've laid out all the tools how I want them, and I'm going to start with this pad saw up here. And all I do is place it where I want it to go, use the scalpel like a pencil, and just cut around the object, and we're literally just using it to capture that silhouette. So we're not cutting very deep, we're literally just capturing the silhouette, drawing around it, not very deep at this point. And when we're sure we've met back up at the start, we can take the item out of the way, and if you press down on the foam, it'll show you the cut that you've made. And at this point, we just go back around and cut down deeper. So this is a 50mm orange insert, and the pad saw is about 30mm at its deepest point. So realistically, we want it to sit, you know, quite deep in the foam, so it's held quite snugly. So as long as I've gone down about 30mm, that's fine. Once you've cut down to the depth you need all the way around and making sure you've connected up the corners, that's the critical bit, you then just push your finger down one end and you just find in a seam and then just kind of hooking your finger under that seam and then peeling it back towards you. And you can see here I'm peeling out a few layers at once. So I've got a nice big chunk of foam that's come straight out there, and it's quite smooth on the bottom already, and that should just fit in there lovely and snug. And I'm always going to know where that pad saw is, and if it's missing, you've even got a pad saw shape to remind you what's missing. So it's ideal for organising and looking after all your tools. And I do that exact same technique for all of these and power tools, any tools of any size, in any inserts, whether it's a big wall display, whether it's a Klein Modbox or a pack out or a DeWalt Tough system, any system we have inserts for. Shadow foam is the ultimate toolbox order for any toolbox. But all that being said, let me cut all of this in. there we go, all of the foam is cut. I've added some finger pulls too. I've done a track for the screwdrivers, used a stencil to cut like a little circle for the pliers, and they fit in there nicely, to be fair. I didn't know I had a full liner's worth of tools, but it's spaced out just perfect. And they're good. My overall review of Klein tools is they've got some novel stuff, and then the standard stuff is just really good quality. And it wasn't bad priced either. I was pretty happy with it all. Obviously, the bits I had to get shipped over from America were extortionate, so hopefully they turn up on UK shores before long. If you want some shadow foam inserts, go and grab yourself some. We'll put the link in the description for Klein Modbox inserts. But maybe you don't have a Klein Modbox and you've got another system. Maybe it's Milwaukee Pack Out, Tough System, T-Stack. Whatever toolbox you have, we guaranteed have inserts for it at shadowfoam.com. Put me to the test. Go and check the website. Do we have inserts for your toolbox? If we don't, drop a comment, let me know, and we'll make some inserts for it. So go and get yourself some shadow foam. Make sure you click the subscribe button, it really helps, and the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. We've got some exciting projects coming up, some absolute bangers that I've already shot. And let me know what toolbox stack you'd like to see next. We've done Tough Built, we've done Klein Modbox. There's a few others that I've not quite showed on the channel. Maybe it's Ryobi Link, Flex Stack Pack. Let me know what you'd like to see, and we'll get it reviewed and get it on the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.